Hi, Pastor Steve Windsor here of Nativity Lutheran Church and School, and this is part of a series we're doing in which we're interviewing folks from Nativity Lutheran. And with me today is Doris Karlik. And Doris, how long? Well, first of all, say hi, Doris.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Good to be here with you. Doris, how long have you been a member of Nativity?
55 years.
55 years.
When we moved here from Arizona, my daughter Diane was in confirmation classes back there, and we didn't want to waste any time. I asked my minister in Scottsdale, Arizona, to tell me who was the pastor and the church that would be closest to our house. And sure enough, it was Nativity Lutheran Church with David Wolber as the minister. So I knew immediately that that's where we were going to join. So within a month, we moved here in December of 70, and the following month we were taken in as members, and Diane went right on with her confirmation classes, which made me very happy.
Didn't skip a beat. I'm sure Diane was thrilled that you were able to have her confirmation.
That's right.
Catechism go uninterrupted.
That's right. But Kathy, of course, made her confirmation 2 years later here,
right,
at the Nativity, and we were very happy. Things were going very well. I had a good beginning back in New Jersey when, at age 5, I went to Sunday school, and I didn't realize at the time, but I met my future husband at kindergarten at Sunday school.
Wait. You met your future husband,
right,
in kindergarten?
Yes, but Sunday school kindergarten with the 5-year-olds.
Okay.
But I didn't know at the time this would be my husband, right? My Uncle Rudy was the superintendent of the Sunday school. We had 200 children in Sunday school. And at age 15, wow, he asked me to please play the piano for the school. So I did. I played piano, playing all the hymns when I was only 15 years of age. When I was 18, he asked me to be a Sunday school teacher. So that was my beginning at Holy Trinity in Newark, New Jersey.
Holy Trinity, Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
So you are what we call a cradle Lutheran. You grew up in the Lutheran church.
Yes, I did, definitely.
Wow.
And my future husband, at that time I didn't know, we were in the same confirmation class. And on Saturday morning, we would meet for classes with the minister from 9 o'clock to 12 noon. And many a time, Steve and his friends from down at Newark would not know their lesson, and they'd have to kneel for 3 hours.
Well, hold on just a second, Doris.
Yes.
If the Sunday school student did not know their lesson, or confirmation,
this is confirmation
did not know their lesson, they had to kneel?
Well, the boys did.
What about the girls?
I don't know. I never saw the girls kneel, but the boys had to kneel, and I felt so sorry for them.
So what you're saying is the girls always got their confirmation homework done?
I guess they did. I would say they did, right.
So the boys had to kneel for 3 hours.
3 hours.
Wow.
Because they did. And I thought, oh my gosh, I felt so sorry for them, because it was a wooden floor, it wasn't very comfortable. There was no carpet or anything.
My goodness.
But anyway, we were confirmed together.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I gave my speech, we each had to answer questions at the service for confirmation. And as I was giving the books of the Bible, someone fainted, and they all thought I had fainted, but it was someone else in the group.
Oh.
So that was quite an experience too.
And that was during the service?
Yes, during the service.
That this person fainted.
Right. But anyway, I was okay. I just went on
just
saying the books of the Bible. But it was interesting.
Yeah. So at what point did you look at this young man, Stephen, and say,
well, it wasn't,
and verbalize this premonition that you've had since you were 5, that
Well, it didn't happen right away. I was already dating a fellow that was getting his engineering degree,
Mm.
and my parents thought he was the person for me. Well, all of a sudden, I start dating Steven too. So for 6 months, I think I was dating Steve on Friday night and Bill on Saturday night, and I couldn't make up my mind right away. But then Bill, in our discussions when we were out, I realized he was an atheist, and I could never marry an atheist.
Mm.
But my parents didn't understand that. They thought, oh, he was getting a college education. Bill was the one for me. And
Wow.
I kind of said, no, that's not it. I was going to marry Steve. Well,
So,
they were upset. My parents were upset about that.
so a couple things there. You played the field.
Oh, yeah, right. I did.
And so you chose the gentleman who didn't necessarily have the most, what would seem the most secure future,
Right.
but had a faith.
Yes.
That was
And he
important
was
to
from
you.
my church, and I thought my parents should realize he's from the same church, you
Mm.
know? But anyway, let's see, I wanted to tell you something.
You chose Steve.
Mm-hmm. But at the time, Steve graduated Eastside High. I went to Westside High, so many a times I'd go and watch him. He played football for Eastside. And sometimes our team would have a double header,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd stay on at the stadium and watch for his team to play too. And then when they were getting on the buses to go back home, I tried to get on the bus that he was on. So, yeah, I did like him, right?
Yeah, apparently so. You would go out of the way to be with him, literally.
Right. So, in other words, there was a time when, let's see, he had to work because his family came from Czechoslovakia, and they were struggling to get food on the table for the children. So Steve, being the oldest, had to go to work instead of going to college. So when I started dating him, I encouraged him to go to night school, which he did. He went 6 years to night school at Newark College of Engineering. And then he had one more year. He said he would go and get a day degree instead if I would go back and teach school. I had taught fifth grade for 6 years, and then I checked with my school in my neighborhood, and sure enough, there was an opening with second grade, so I took it for a year, and Steve got his degree. Once he got his degree, we traveled away from family. We went to Massachusetts, California, Arizona, and then Florida.
Wow.
But
Sounds like you two were quite the team.
But the reason being, during the day he worked at the Bell Telephone Labs, and he had discovered the tantalum capacitor. And that was such an important discovery that all the manufacturing companies wanted my husband after he got his degree. And that's why we traveled as much as we did at that time.
So what are some of those places like overseas that you traveled?
Oh, that was when he became corporate president for North American Phillips, and he had to supervise 26 companies in the world. And there were times when he had to go, being it was North American Phillips, the meetings were in the Netherlands. So we went to the Netherlands at least twice a year.
Oh my goodness.
And I was always treated like a queen. Someone would take me around touring or shopping or to the theater. And well, he had business commitments, you know.
Right, yeah.
But no, my travels with him included going to Japan because he had a joint venture with the Japanese. They would produce his tantalum capacitor in San Diego, and then they would sell it in Tokyo.
My goodness.
So we went to Tokyo quite often. I got to know the Yamadas very well. He was the president of the company in Tokyo, but his wife was an angel. She took me all around. And one time we even went on the bullet train out of the area, and we went like on a country visit. And for one afternoon, a girl by the name of Chrysanthemum was studying to be a geisha girl, and she entertained me all afternoon by singing, by playing the lute, by having tea with me, and dancing. Oh, it was a wonderful experience.
So you had some beautiful cultural experiences
Oh, yes, I have.
overseas.
And
Yeah.
I have pictures to prove all these things.
If you were here with us, you would see that in Doris's house, there's tons
Right.
of pictures, painting, artwork from
Right.
all over the world.
That's true.
Yeah.
But besides my travel, I was quite involved in the American Lutheran Church Women,
that's
ALCW.
Yes. Tell us about your time in the American Lutheran Church.
What happened? We used to have a conference that was called the Florida Bahamas Conference. And at that time, I was a secretary for the conference. And when the president stepped down, I became president of the conference. And we had many conventions, even in the Bahamas. And I became friends with Naomi Simmons. And at that time, they were talking about a possible new district in the Lutheran Church. And sure enough, the last district, called the Southeastern District, was established. And I was elected president in 81. President of the Southeastern District
of the American Lutheran
Church, right?
Wow!
And Dave Wolber at that time was the bishop. He became the dean and then the bishop.
Right. So at this point in time, when you were at Nativity, Dave Wolber had left Nativity and had gone on to be the dean of the Southeast Conference of the American Lutheran Church. And now you are reunited with him as part of the council.
Right. So I was on the council, and there were times when I had to do the devotions, and I thought, how am I going to do a devotion for the ministers, But my symbol, I used the rainbow as my symbol during my administration, and I decided to do a rainbow devotion. As I went on the elevator to get up to the room where we were having our meeting, I saw this piece of paper on the floor of the elevator, and I quickly picked it up. It was a rainbow. I took that rainbow and put it in my pocket. And I felt so good. I felt God was with me. And sure enough, I did a great job with the rainbow devotion.
Beautiful.
The ministers thought how did I do that, But they didn't know I had the rainbow that God gave me in my pocket.
In your pocket.
Right.
You had hope.
Right.
You literally had hope and
promise.
That
was a wonderful experience. Right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But then because I was the district president, I was the first and only one, because there was something else in the makings for the Lutheran Church at that time. But I had to work not only as a district president, but that put me on the national board at that time. And I had to go to Minneapolis for many of our national meetings. And here I think I really put a dent in their thinking too, because there was a time when there were problems, and I think I kind of solved a few of them, and they were amazed. But when it came to selecting someone from our ALCW to run for the National Women's Group for the WELCA, because in 7 years after I was elected district president, they were thinking of forming the United, the three Lutheran groups were going to unite and form the ELCA. And sure enough, I was one of three people being considered to run for that national office.
And how did that go?
All right, it happened that the girl from Minnesota, Jean Rapp, a girl from Massachusetts, and little Doris from the new district were the three candidates that they were considering. And they decided to put up Jean Rapp because many Lutherans lived in Minnesota. That was the reasoning.
You lost out
I accepted that, but I felt so honored that I was being considered as one of the three.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I got involved in the transition committee. I worked with the three bishops on the formation.
That when you say the transition and the formation
Right.
of the ELCA
CA.
now, right? Because
Yes.
it brought together
I was in that with the three bishops,
of the American Lutheran Church, the
LCA,
Lutheran Church of America,
and the AEL.
I think it was the Evangelical Lutheran
Right.
Church, the third
Right.
one.
There were three.
Yes.
Right.
And those three came together to make the ELCA,
right.
of which we are part
And
of.
I was elected a delegate to the convention for that particular thing. And I served on the discipline committee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was on the discipline committee for the ELCA, the new one. And then I also served on the Florida Synod. I was the election chairman while I served. So I had a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
And I thoroughly enjoyed every minute.
Yeah.
And my husband was very supportive of my fact that I had to go to Minneapolis or I had to go to Chicago or whatever. And on the discipline committee, I think I went to Ohio. I was on one case that was a difficult one, but I went to the one in Ohio. I was supposed to go to the one in San Francisco, but at that time I had a commitment that I couldn't get away, so I couldn't go to that one. But that was a big one.
Well, you served on a committee that is not an easy committee to be on.
Oh my gosh, it was very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult.
Yes.
There's a lot of pain,
a lot of problems.
A lot of
right.
problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what committees or what involvement were you at Nativity?
Nativity, I was on the church council during the 70s.
Okay.
I served as chairman of the stewardship, chairman of parish ed, and and chairman of evangelism. So I had three different positions that I had. Right. And my husband at the time, he helped find jobs we had adopted a Vietnamese family, and those people got jobs working for my husband's company.
Wonderful.
So he helped out there, and he helped them find a place to live.
Yeah.
So he was very instrumental in that way.
Yeah. To color that story a little bit, I'll share with our listeners that in the early 1970s, after the Vietnam War, there were families looking to relocate, to the land of promise, the United States, and there were some families that Nativity sponsored, helped them get on their feet, and your husband was one of those individuals that helped give jobs.
Yes, he did.
And I understand there was housing, there was clothing, there was preschool, all kinds of services. What a way to be the hands and feet of Christ.
That was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is 2024, and we are in the we're in this night. Oh gosh, I got to do the math on the fly here, Doris. 1962 to 2024. Nativity is 62 years old. 62.
Oh my.
60. Did I do that math correctly? Yes, 62 years old.
Right.
And it's not the same congregation it was back in 1962, let alone 1970 or 1980. It's a different congregation.
That's true.
It's not made up of cradle Lutherans anymore. We have people from different kind of faiths.
Right.
As the landscape of the neighborhood around the church has changed, the church has changed along with it. And we're finding ourselves now, especially after COVID, we're finding ourselves in a different position as a congregation where we need to be a bit more proactive in going out into the community
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, to make relationships.
The outreach is very important,
isn't it? It's so important. And what's a hope that you have for Nativity?
Well, I do pray for our church every night, And I pray that everything will work out, that we have more good members and we have more finances to do the things that we'd like to do in the community, reaching out. I think our program for reaching out has now started, and it should.
You're referring to the Act Love Walk ministry.
Yes,
Yes,
right. With
yes.
more, with what?
With Mike
Mike
Moore. Yep.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yes.
And I think 2 years ago, we used to have a very strong relationship with the St. Ignatius Church, and we used to share Thanksgiving together every year. It either would be at their cathedral or our church, and I wish that would continue. That was the very good relationship we had.
Well, you know that was we'll say that was P.S. pre Steve, or PPS pre Pastor Steve. But you know, this is a time, especially right now, in the ministry landscape, of shared worship, shared spaces,
right,
shared ministry. It's hard to do things on your own, and you know, that's one of those relationships that maybe we should try to rekindle. We Nativity, besides that, Nativity has had experience with I should say experience, but we shared space with the Methodist Church in the last couple years.
That's right.
Did ministry with them. I wanted to backtrack a little bit, if I could,
Sure.
to when you talked about the outreach, and I wanted to share with the folks that outreach with Mike Moore, the Act Love Walk. That is a ministry, for those of you who are listening, a ministry in which we have a mobile food pantry. We have a truck in which we take food to folks who live in situations where their accessibility to groceries is difficult. So we have identified a couple of motels in the immediate area of Palm Beach Gardens, in which we deliver food to these establishments that have kitchens in them, or have limited cooking facilities, but most of all, they have families there. So we're able to come, provide bags of food, and build relationships, and while we're there, pray with them and give them a bit of hope. So with every bag of food, there's a bit of hope, not just physical sustenance in the food, but spiritual sustenance as well. So that's the outreach, and yeah, it's a good way of being present in the community. Yeah.
And we used to have a group of couples that used to meet for dinner. And that was a wonderful experience, too.
Yeah, those were called the 50 and Cruisin'.
What is it?
Was it called? Was it 50s and Cruisin'?
I think something like that.
Something like that?
Yeah, but we used to always enjoy going to someone's house for dinner.
Yeah. You know, we have the mission statement at Nativity is celebrating God's love, transforming lives through worship, education, fellowship, and service.
Right.
Fellowship and service. So fellowship is an important part.
So we have to keep our people too healthy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And happy.
Yeah. Yep.
We used to have Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, or Boy Scouts, I think we used to meet at our facility too. I don't think we do that anymore.
Yep. We have many other organizations that use our facilities right now. The Boy Scouts are not one of them, but the Girl Scouts have, a number of AA groups have. So yeah, we make the.
We do? Oh, good.
Yep, we do. We sure
Very
do.
good.
Yeah. Well, Doris, thank you for this time. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just feel I'm very blessed that I have such a wonderful church family, and it seems all my life my church has been a wonderful family wherever I live, but Nativity's been, especially since I've been here 55 years, it's been a long relationship, you know. So I'm very happy.
Well, we're blessed to have you for 55 of your how many years?
93.
93,
Right.
yes. Well, you are a gem, Doris, and thank you for all your love and support of Nativity, your encouragement of me, and all the work and love that you have given to God's church over the years.
You're certainly welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you, and you too. God bless you, Pastor.
This was an episode of Listen, an occasional series of conversations with members of Nativity Lutheran. Both God and Jesus said, listen. It was a heads up that what they were about to say was important. I believe everyone has something important to say. Everyone has a story, an event that helps to define who they are and possesses the power to connect us to one another in ways that only the Holy Spirit can. Who will I speak with next? Maybe you. Contact me, Pastor Steve, at pastor@pbnativity.com or at 561-622-4998. Until next time, take care and God bless, good people.